Respected Dr. Indu Shani, Vice Chairperson, Mudra Foundation Society and MICA Governing Council, Shri Bhaskar Das, Member of Foundation and Member Governing Council, Shri Setu Iyer, Member Foundation and Governing Council, Dr. Nagesh Rao, President and Director MICA, faculty, staff of MICA, parents, invited press and media guests, and PGP20 and CCC. I am delighted and honored to be present on this hallowed occasion, the 20th convocation of this highly esteemed and unique institution. I think it's really unique invocation, unique venue under the mango tree, unique walk to the taking degree. When Dr. Nagesh Rao called me the other day to invite me for this convocation, I was happy and surprised. Happy because I'm coming to the School of Ideas, so I may get some good ideas here. And surprised that why Dudhwala has been called for such a prestigious issue. Then I thought I'm going, so let me think what I can share from my business. And I think you know what business we are. In today's language, we call it C2C business. Cow to consumer. To be honest, I never expected MICA like this. My first visit to MICA was in 1992 when this small building was inaugurated. I think most of you must have born that time only. Or maybe later. Good, very young. I see the old faces of that day. Mr. Alan D'Souza is there, Mr. Bhaumik Chatterjee is there, and Mudra had our account for Dhara, so we had a lot of interactions, so they invited us. So that time we thought Mudra has opened one wing to do their market research, etc. We never thought, I mean, slightest doubt was not there, that it will become such a prestigious, India's one of the best school for marketing and communication management. I think we must thank to the visionary leadership of founding father Shri A.G. Krishnamurthy, what MICA is today. And MICA is at the rising wave of contribution to the nation building as India powers its way to new era. I'm truly impressed by the giant strides taken by Institute in establishing itself as the premier center of excellence, delivering world-class education in the field of strategic marketing and communication. It is indeed a matter of great pride for me to address the graduating students on this very auspicious occasion. I also came to know about the sad and sudden demise of Professor Atul Tandon at the London airport. I remember my meeting with Professor Tandon. He seemed to be very dynamic and was speaking about MICA very enthusiastically. My thoughts are with Professor Tandon and his family. I can partly relate to the feeling that you, PGP20, would be going through at this time, as I was the similar stage 33 years back. This particular time is to enjoy the moment, as now you are ready to step into the real world to fulfill the dreams and aspirations you had when you entered this college 1, 2, or 3 years back. Though what has changed now is that when the convocation would end, or maybe right now also, you will be sharing the pictures of yourself with your classmate and parents wearing graduation robe and motorboat from your Twitter, FB, Instagram, and WhatsApp account. I remember 38 back when we had our convocation. That time the Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, was present. And besides the students and their parents and definitely press, we had 50,000 farmers present. And we could not share what we got, but we were waiting. We waited for 3 days to get a black and white picture of our taking degree from Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So time has changed, definitely. Communication now is changing the world in a very different way. Political, business, crisis, health communication are taking a new dimensions with each passing day because of improvement in technology and emergence of new media such as social. The basic building block of good communication is the feeling that every human being is unique and of value. Communication is an extremely important business tool, and it is imperative that business organizations have a long-term communication strategy, just like they have long-term investment strategy. The art of communication is the language of leadership and courage. Leadership we all know, but courage, because of there is no courage, it is not communication, it is propaganda. When I was studying my post-graduation in Anand in rural management, we were in midst of Operation Flood, that is the White Revolution. It was a very common sight to see prime ministers and other important ministers and international delegates visiting Anand in Gujarat. We were buzzing with energy and our sights were on the future, as must be yours now. Now, I fondly remember what Dr. Varghese Kurian, father of the White Revolution, said to the graduating batch in 1982 at IRMA convocation. Quote, he said, our first duty is to India, our second duty is to the farmers and especially to the poorest in the rural society. Our third duty is to our institutions where we are working, and our last duty always is to ourselves. And he further added, as we welcome you to the real world of action, we also request you to look for a moment into your heart. You are a part of a small privileged elite of those who could have entered school with you 17 or 18 years ago. Many have never crossed the threshold of a classroom. Many more fell by the wayside as economic and other compulsion forced them to begin the effort to survive before they were fully prepared to do so. Those of you who are here today represent a small handful of our nation, blessed both with your own efforts and by your good fortune. But ask yourself, is that good fortune only for you to enjoy? Or as a member of our privileged elite, do you have obligation to contribute your skills in some measure to the benefit of others? I hope that at least some of you will recognize and accept your responsibilities to enter into partnership with less privileged section of our society and economy, helping to bridge the gulf that divides us. If few of you, even one of you take up such a challenge, then I shall feel that I have not done such a bad job today. So my fellow graduates, make the world before you a better one by going into it with all the boldness. You are up to it and you are fit for it. You deserve it and you make your own best contribution. The world before you will become a bit more deserving for you. Now, unquote, that was he said. This speech acted as a catalyst, as it matched my value system, which I imbibed from my parents. This propelled me to join Amul 33 years back. I really feel that the students and young professionals stand to gain immensely by learning more about the life and achievements of legendary Dr. Varghese Kurian, the father of White Revolution and the Amul cooperative movement. If our younger generation imbibes his values of integrity, efficiency, honesty, hard work, and excellence India will be a much better place to live in. Dr. Kurian wanted our younger generation to go out bravely into the world and to work tirelessly in their chosen field for the larger good of the country and for the larger good of humanity. I was fortunate to be closely associated with Dr. Kurian for more than 30 years. I was overwhelmed by his passion to work for the underprivileged and his absolute commitment towards integrity and excellence, and his outlook shaped my entire professional life. After graduating from IRMA in 1982, as I started work for the Amul as an employee of farmers, I was blessed to have the opportunity to work directly under the visionary leadership of my hero. He used to encourage talented and committed youngsters to assume the mantle of leadership at early age. In fact, he one famously told us that he had established IRMA to create hundreds of Korean who could carry his legacy forward to not only serve the nation but also serve the entire humanity as a whole. He used to give high degree of freedom to his team to take initiative, respecting their professional judgment. He was very extremely particular about professional discipline and expected the highest level of commitments from everyone around him. I remember from our meetings, in any meeting, if you go and sit, if some advertising agency meeting is going on, I think Mr. Alan D'Souza will support. If he wants to take comments, he'll first ask the youngest member in that meeting room, what are your comments? Because he knew if he asked senior first and then younger fellow later, the younger fellow will open up his mouth. He always strived for excellence and expected nothing less from his team members. He ensured excellence in every institution that he built and very actively that he undertook. He had a great charisma and amazing ability to attract talented professionals to join his cause. I once asked Dr. Kurian what were the most important qualities that he looked for in someone when recruiting a person into any of the organization that he had created. His simple answer was that he looks for three things: integrity, integrity, and integrity. He used to tell us that integrity and character, once lost, could never ever be regained. Integrity is to be honest to oneself. If you are always honest to yourself, it does not take much effort in always being honest with others, he said. Besides integrity, I really feel that patience and passion are the other two interior virtues that can take you places. The younger generation of today is very impatient and looks for speedy career growth or maybe opportunities. It must realize, however, that professional life is very long and focus should always be on long-term goal. As you would strive ahead in your career, you may face situation where your colleagues might have achieved more success than you, and thus you would also be tempted to follow the similar path, compromising your value system. But as a member of young, elite, educated, smart, knowledgeable fraction of the society, you should remember that if not today, tomorrow the success definitely would be yours. So the question is not about achieving success, but about values. Because this only will give you satisfaction when you look back at your life when you would be at my stage. In short term, even if you do not achieve success, the experience you gain out of failure would be equally valuable, which you will realize later in the professional career. Accept failure as part of life and not dwell on too much. One who fears failure limits his activities and risk-taking abilities. Failure is the opportunity to more intelligently begin again. I have personally always followed the sermon prescribed by the Bhagavad Gita, simply karam kiye ja, phal ki chinta na kar. I strongly advocate this dictum to a young generation like you. Early in my career, I learned that one has to gain respect not on the grounds of one qualification or designation or a degree from MICA or IM, especially when you join any organization, but on the account of knowledge, hard work, and efficiency. Also, I understood that there is no shortcut to success. All that is required to attain one's goal is sheer hard work, passion for work, and definitely patience. These qualities helped me to gain recognition and respect from my seniors, my juniors, and my business associates. Now I think I speak something about Amul. The core identity of brand Amul has remained the same for the last 60 years. That is value for many, that is for 3.5 million milk farmers or the owners of this organization, and value for money for millions of Amul customers, providing them highest quality milk products at the most fair and reasonable price. The core identity has been central in every possible form of brand communication through every possible media. Amul cannot be viewed simply as a business enterprise. It is an institution created by millions of milk producing farmers themselves by primarily safeguard their interest economically, socially, as well as democratically. Corporate houses create profit in order to distribute to shareholders. Nothing wrong in that. In the case of Amul, the surplus or whatever profit we generate is plowed back to the farmers through institution created by them. This circulation of capital with value addition within the structure not only benefits the final beneficiary, the farmer, but eventually contributes to the development of the whole village community. If you go to any village in the Gujarat, you will find the schools have been built by the village cooperative society or some help computer centers or the roads or the other common facility. This is the most significant contribution the Amul model cooperative have made in building the nation. Amul is procuring milk from milk producer members at the highest possible rate and charging most reasonable rate from the consumer. The very reason of Amul taking into account the welfare of people in the business model itself has resulted in sustainable growth for the last 6 decades and winning trust of millions of people on the both side of value chain, that is one side producers and other side consumer. And I think you will agree there are very, very few organizations which have survived for 6 decades and still growing at the same pace or faster pace. A business can succeed and sustain itself in long term only if it keeps in mind the welfare of society. The idea to narrate this to you is that you pay attention to this when you become leaders tomorrow yourself. I also very happy to hear that MICA would be offering a specialization in social change leadership. At Amul, consistency in strategizing and execution over 6 decades has been the key to our success in terms of marketing and communication. In our case, we were fortunate to have a core group of brand custodians who undertook the responsibility of taking the brand forward across decades. Dr. Varghese Kurian himself personally nurtured brand Amul since its assumption in 1956 till 2006 and built a core team of professionals both at the client's end and at the advertising and media agency. Shri Sylvester Dakuna has been the custodian of brand Amul for almost 6 decades. There is a long list of distinguished marketing and advertising professionals who have dedicated their entire professional lives in building and nurturing brand Amul. Innovation and creativity in communication style and media strategy can lead to mega success. This has been exemplified by our iconic topical campaign. The dimension of topicality which is inherent in our flagship campaign contributes substantially towards keeping our brand contemporary, fresh, and relevant in the mind of Indian consumer. Every week, Amul comes up with a humorous angle on the latest event making waves across India or even across the world. We managed to strike a chord in the heart of Indians while being seen as fresh and current. This campaign helped us to appropriate the benefit of smartness while becoming top of mind. To some extent, this has facilitated longevity of brand Amul and has enabled our brand to flourish and thrive by ensuring our relevance to Indian society at all points in time during the last 50 years. The reach of our topical campaign has now spread far beyond hoardings and billboards that we started out with. Now something for you. Following the footsteps of your illustrious alumni, which you just rewarded, Mr. Sushant, most of you will be working on brands either on behalf of brand owners or on behalf of media or creative agencies building the brand. It will be interesting for you to know that in case of our iconic topical campaign, we call Amul Girl campaign, the client, that is we, see the campaign at the same time as the consumer or you see. This reflects the absolute trust and faith that we have in our advertising agencies, and the agency in turn reciprocate the trust by applying their discretion with full responsibility, assuming the mantle of brand custodian in true sense. Whenever we have occasionally run into rough weather on account of issue featured in our topical campaign, the agency and the client have faced the situation together as a team. We firmly believe that a relationship between client and the agency is like a contemporary Indian marriage. With constant interaction and development of trust, understanding and proper communication, it can last forever and be mutually beneficial to both parties. Since some of you may also be joining advertising agencies, it will always be useful to put yourself in your client shoes from time to time. Whenever I interact with people from the advertising industry, I always urge them to keep in mind that creativity in advertising should be aligned towards generating maximum business for the client over a long period of time, rather than on winning accolades and awards for creative genius. Advertising campaigns should never be conceptualized and executed in piecemeal fashion. And always whenever we are doing for new campaign, we always have to think what will be next year or next to next year. It should be possible to build up on a campaign, carry it forward, and scale it up whenever required. If a campaign or a strategy is working well, don't change it. You have seen in Amul, our campaign, Utterly Butterly Delicious, or Taste of India, or Doodh Pita India. I mean, it is working, so we are continuing. Change is impersonal at either the agency or client level should never be the trigger for changing a successful advertising strategy. Temptation of new brand managers or new creative heads to leave their own individual stamp on advertising campaign should be steadfastly resisted and discouraged. Positioning platform, advertising tagline, and other fundamental elements of a campaign should not be changed in an ad hoc fashion unless there are extremely compelling reason for doing so. Common irritants, what are the common irritants which we see, such as unreadable font size, may be very stylish, illegible cluttered copy, fancy frills can easily be eliminated if advertising professional makes a conscious attempt to put themselves in the shoes of their client or customers. One of the cardinal errors committed by most advertising professionals is that regardless of reason or language in which the campaign is to be released, the initial conceptualization and planning are in English. They show only the English copy to the client. Subsequent translation from English to relevant languages often fail to capture the real local flavor that the client wishes to see in the campaign. The final result therefore varies significantly from the client initial brief. The very purpose of sharing these insights with you is to ensure that you are sensitized to the common pitfalls that confront every budding advertising, communication, and marketing professional in this country. If you can learn from the accumulated experiences of others, then your own learning curve will be much sharper. The entire function of marketing and communication management has undergone a massive transformation since the advent of digital and social media. In this age of instant two-way communication and instant consumer response, the balance power has shifted towards the consumer. In the earlier era, marketing professional had the luxury of deciding the brand positioning and influencing the brand image through one-way communication. Now, thanks to the lightning speed at which consumer response can go viral on social media, consumers have the upper hand in influencing brand image. I can tell you that recently, a few months back, we faced a similar thing on social media. One lady, Neha Tomar, placed one message on Facebook as well as Twitter that she purchased Amul milk and it has become very sticky and plastic type thing. And she posted even the pictures and, and that got viral. Lakhs of people saw it. Immediately when we saw it, we said we have to work again. So immediately we approached that lady, asked her a few questions from where she purchased, what happened. We realized that she had used 3-4 days old milk lying in her refrigerator, which had got spoiled. It was expired stock. And she wanted to make paneer out of it. And she added lemon and then heated it, and it became very sticky. So what we did immediately, we created a video showing that if you boil expired milk with added lemon, it will become sticky, rubbery, nothing but as a cheesy, mozzarella cheesy type. So nothing wrong in that. And that video we also loaded with our report, and that also became very viral. So all consumer with, I think all this happened within 24 hours. And the same number of people saw, saying we got lakhs of likes for that. So in this today's digital media, what is most important is response and speed. I think one more which recently I saw just few days back is of Johnson & Johnson. That company did not respond and they suffered in the business. So for every campaign that we release in conventional media and for every new product we launch, we get instant feedback through social media. I think earlier whenever you used to release any campaign, we used to do a dipstick study, this study, that. Now that is not needed. Immediately campaign is on the TV, you get on Twitter, you get on Facebook the comments about the campaign. I'm glad that MICA is offering functional specialization digital marketing as part of this course. A young professional in India starting his or her career today is definitely the most fortunate person in the world. It is predicted that by 2020, India will be third highest GDP on the basis of current prices, beating Germany and Japan, and would be the world's fastest growing major economy, surpassing China. So by the time you would be leading the business in few years, the global economic center of gravity would start to hover somewhere between India and China. That would be truly exciting. In most product categories, penetration of branded organized sector is still very low in our country, and this factor presents a flood of opportunities for dynamic young entrepreneurs and professionals. It is the duty of our young generation to help India regain the economic glory that we once had in the pre-colonial era. Brand equity of any academic institution is built and enhanced by its alumni and its faculty. Together, they can create a truly iconic brand image for the institution. Role of the alumni is extremely critical in this regard, and through their performance and conduct, they can either enhance or dilute the reputation of institute. Today, you are reaping rewards of the hard work that your illustrious alumni have put in. Therefore, the onus of further enhancing brand equity, Mica, lies with you, the graduating batch. If you wish to see Mica among top academic institutions in the entire world, then you will have to work very, very hard and excel in your professional lives, as many of your predecessors have already done. To the young men and the women who graduate today, I would like to say that Mica must have helped you in acquiring the courage and the staying power to overcome challenges that our nation faces today. Times are changing rapidly, so are the needs of our times. Great challenges elicit equally great responses. In keeping with morphing economic environment, India business needs to change and change rapidly. You are the seeds of that change. By graduating from this great institute, you have reached a stepping stone in your life, a place from which you can pause for a moment and enjoy the luxury of looking back at the distance covered. But the thing about stepping stone is that you will always need to find another one up there ahead of you. The next move will always be test for you. Talking from my own example, brand Amul, today has reached the stage in emotional branding where consumer do not question the brand, have complete faith, and in fact become the cheerleaders in the brand. You see, a brand has achieved the success when consumer have got blind faith in a brand. And blind faith is like a religion where you don't question. You blindly buying without looking here and there. If a brand achieves position, it becomes very important for the brand custodian to not sit on their laurels and constantly innovate in way brand communicates and interacts with the consumer, as well as launch new products. People have very high expectation from the brand at this time. Some expectations are real, while some are imaginary. Urban people have expectation to spend minimum on certain commodities such as milk, vegetables, and pulses. As a brand, on one hand, we have to manage the farmers who produce these commodities all 365 days, morning, evening, while on the other hand, consumers, whenever we increase milk prices, the hue and cry is made mostly by people residing in the urban areas. These are the people whose voices we hear, whereas consumers do not hear anything from the helpless farmers. But as it is true always, someone spending is someone earning. So you should be the voice for the voiceless. I can fully relate to this quote by Jimi Hendrix: when knowledge speaks, wisdom listens. In your life, you have to play dual part, and to be successful, you should strive to imbibe both the qualities. True, wise, and knowledgeable person will speak when sharing knowledge is appropriate and listen otherwise. Quoting Thomas Jefferson, American founding father, he said, very important thing, in matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. You should never compromise with your values in your life, come what may be. A country can be truly great if it is based on the sound value system. This is true also for civilization, companies, and also brands. And the ones who will play a significant role in future would be leaders such as you. If I have to sum up my entire speech in one word, you know what it would be? Values. If there is if there is one thing which has stood by me in the sands of time, it is value. Temporarily you may face difficulties, but long term only values stand with you. Again coming back to Dr. Korean. Dr. Korean had varied choices in his career. You see, he belonged to a very rich family of Kerala. His uncle was the first finance minister of India. His one cousin founded IMA, Ravi Mathai. Dr. Korean could have pursued a career in metallurgy and perhaps become a chief executive of a large company. Or he could have opted for a commission in the Indian Army and maybe retired as general. Or he could have left for the USA, where he studied his post-graduation at MIT and gone on to become a highly successful and rich NRI. Yet he chose none of these because somewhere deep down he knew he would make a more meaningful contribution while working in Anand, which was in 1948 was a small town of 5,000 population. Rest, as they say in history, he transformed the entire dairy industry, and his contribution towards the progress of country is insurmountable. I would like to therefore end my speech with a quote from the great man, Dr. Verghese Kurian, which he said to everybody when we were also passing out the same word. He said, "We have traversed a path few have dared to. We are continuing on a path still fewer have the courage to follow. We must pursue a path that even fewer can dream to pursue. Yet we must, because we hold in trust aims and aspiration of millions of our countrymen. I wish you all the best for your future and career. Jai Hind."